idea of single language for all the EU members breaks down the Union. Today I have two clash points to present to you. The first one is why single language creates more harm than goods to the society. And the second clash point is who is supporting the growth in economy. Today, my first clash point is why single language creates more harm than goods to the society. And my first sub-point is the government's role to protect the culture. We see that the government has the responsibility to protect their own culture. And if they accept that the other culture if they accept the other culture's language as their own official language, we see that they are sending a message to the society that the other culture is more important, that they are going to prioritize the other culture over their own. And we see that that is telling the people that it is alright to prioritize the other culture over its own. And if trade can be improved, then if the country can gain more money, and that it is okay to, then therefore it is okay to prioritize the other culture over one's own. So we see that they are implying that the money is more important than rights, that it is okay if the trade can be improved, that the trade can rise over the culture. And moving on to my second sub-point, which is the people's resistance against the single official language idea. The government comes up and stated that people do not resist sharing the same currency. But we see that it is because the currency is not a part of their culture. Currency is actually only a tool for trade, but language is a part of our own culture. It is important and it is valuable, and it is not a tool for trade, but it is what makes one culture unique. And if we just start to use the other language as official language, we see that we are sending the messages to the people in the society that they should not that it is alright to prioritize the other culture. But we see that if we don't do that, we are telling the people in the society that they should preserve their own culture, and we believe that this is the way to go. And the third sub-point is single language creates discrimination when one language is prioritized. We see that by prioritizing one language over the other, we are prioritizing the one culture over another as well. And we see that creates a sense of discrimination. And people will just feel oppressed, and they will start conflict. And this breaks down the unity of the society. And we are not stopping the people from learning the other language, ladies and gentlemen. But we are saying that we should prioritize our own culture, our own language before the other culture and the other language. Yes.
If you're saying that euro is just that currency is just a tool to trade, then prove to me why isn't language just a tool to communicate?
We say that language is a valuable part of culture. It is used for communication, but also it is a part of the identity of each culture. And even though it is for communication, we see that it creates the unique sense of it creates the identity to one culture, because the language is developed over time, not just like currency that is just created for a tool to trade. And moving on to my second clash point, which is who is supporting the growth in economy. And my first sub-point is that there is no dire need for a single language to improve trade. We see that how trade can be improved is not only about communication. It can be improved, for example, through the strength in industry in one's country. So we see that what government needs to do to improve trade is not necessarily to set up one official language policy. For example, look at the world now. We are not, people in the whole world is not using the same language, but we can still improve our trade because language is not only the way to improve the trade. So we see that if our own culture can be preserved, there is no dire need to prioritize our own culture. To prioritize the other culture over our own. And we see that there is no dire need for the EU to do such thing. One single language does not guarantee the improvement in trade. And we see that it is just the assumption from the government side. that the single language will just improve trade. And moving on to my second subpoint, which is how single official language policy will fail the economy. We see that EU is set up to stop the conflict among the countries in Europe. But since the single language policy creates a discrimination in the society, we see that the society will fail at the end of the day. And we see that people will just care less about trade if the society fails. And also this will discredit the EU as a right protector. And the EU will lose their reputation in the national community. And this will lead to less country trading with them. We see that single currency is a tool for trade, but to bring it further and bring it to one single official language is too far. It creates a sense of discrimination and creates the break in the society and therefore fail the economy of one's country as well. So what I've told you so far is that the single language creates more harm than good to the society. The government, by prioritizing one's culture over the other, they are sending the messages to the society that one's language is more important than our own. But we see that that will lead to the people's resistance because they should have a right to choose to use their own language. They should preserve their own language and also their own culture. And because even though the currency, the EU share the same currency, we see that currency is not a part of our culture. It is actually only a tool for trade. And by prioritizing one's culture, we see that it creates discrimination in the society. And we see that by creating discrimination in the society will fail at the end of the day. And we see that since single official language policy fail the economy, we see no dire need to doing such thing because there's also other things to do to improve the trade. So therefore, the idea of single official languages for all the EU members breaks down the union.